Well, hello everybody. You've just tuned into Buzz Buggy's RC, and this is LIPO Talk.
Hello everybody. Hello, right, we're just going to do, as Crocodile just said, LIPO Talk. Chargers, we're going to talk about chargers, storing LIPO batteries, have a look at some LIPO batteries. This is for beginners, this video, so if you're not new to RCing, you can swipe away, or you can just stay tuned in anyway. That would be really nice if you did that. but anyway, yeah, it's up to you. So I've got a few chargers here to look at. I'm just going to show you what I use and just try and help you, and talk about a couple of different brands of batteries. So a few chargers there. Right, let's get cracking. Right, first thing we need to talk about, it's mostly important, when you've got LIPO batteries and stuff in the house, storage is everything. You need a tin. As you can see, I've got an ammo case here. The place I got this from, I can't remember the name now, but the place I bought this from, it actually donates some of the money that you pay for these tins, they donate some of it to army veterans and stuff like that, goes to a charity, which is really good. Right, first you need to take the rubber seal out of the lid. There's a rubber seal. Well, I'm going to take that out, because if you don't and one of these batteries goes off, like it sets fire, obviously you don't want a tight seal, because bang, I mean, that won't be good. These do not sit in the fire triangle as such. They don't need, what is it? It's is it food, ignition, and oxygen in it? It's something like that. Is it like a source? I don't know. Anyway, if you have a look at the fire triangle. These create their own oxygen. These can just go off. So don't think that you can just put them in a tin, seal it up, and everything's all right. Because no, you can't do that. So storage is everything. When you store them at 50% charge, 40 to 50% charge. Never store them at too low charge, and never store them fully charged, okay? Down here we've got a few different LIPO batteries, so that's lithium polymer, and then you get lithium ion. Lithium ion is a little bit safer than the polymer types. These are more likely to self-combust. But basically, more than likely, it's going to happen when you're charging it. We'll have a look at the charges in a moment, and that will talk a little bit more about that. So basically, I'll assume that you already know about 2, 3, 4S and stuff like that. Basically, 1S is like an AA battery, like so. That'd be like 1 cell, and 2 cell, 3 cell, 4 cell, so on. This is a big 6S battery, and this is a soft case battery. I've just wrapped it in some tape, and it has got an EC5 connector on it, female. So it's female because it's hollow on these brass bits. Don't look at the outer casing, it's these inner bits. A male would look like, not that. We've got one. So that's a male, because it goes into those, you see. But if you look at the outer casing, that goes into that. So it gets a little bit confused. Don't get confused, it's these bullets that's the important bit. So you go male and female. There you go. So depending on what size RC you've got, you might want a big battery, that's 4S, hard case. We'll get into that in a minute. And you can get little shorties. I nearly always use Z batteries unless it's one that's come with a car or something like this, Traxxas type here. But I generally stick with Z. You've got Gens Ace, there's Yumi, I've had them there, not too bad. Onyx, I think, is another brand. Overlander, Volts, there's loads of different LIPO batteries, like brands. I basically just stick with Z, I've had no problems with them. So that's a 3 cell shorty, but that's a 3 cell as well, hard case, and that's just like a bigger one. Right, so you'd have a hard case if you're RC bashing, so if you're doing big skate park jumps and stuff like that, you want a hard case on it. Soft case is just for tootling around and stuff. If you've got a hard case on it, the battery ends up a lot bigger. That's a 4S battery, this is a 6S battery. If you look, the same size. If you take the hard case off, that would be smaller. So always bear in mind, if you get an hard case, it's going to be bigger. A 6S one of those would be absolutely massive. The main sort of connectors you're going to come across are these EC types, like this. Do smaller ones and bigger ones. That's the EC5. Do an EC3. I think do a couple of others, but that's just the size of them. That's a DENS. These are the most common connectors. A DENS T connector. You see a lot of that on smaller RCs, 2S sort of thingies, 2S buggies and that you'll see on. This is an XT90. These are probably the best connectors you can get. When you get into RCs, if you're going to buy a few of them, just try and buy ones that have the same connectors on ideally. Try and stick with one brand, because I guarantee a brand will make its own battery, just like Traxxas or something. So this is a TRX connector, that's a Traxxas type. Otherwise, you're going to end up with all different batteries or loads of these different connectors. You can get these, the adapters, but it's not ideal joining loads of stuff up and that. Again, could cause fires. Never had a problem, but you know, it's stuff like that really that can. I mean, I'm not saying I don't think it would, but but yeah, you know, the safer the better. Of course, another option, you could solder up your own connectors, but it's a bit of a faff, so I'll leave that totally up to you. These chargers that you get with them, I would just personally, I would do that and put it in the bin, to be quite honest. You want a really good charger. This is important as well. Right, moving on. Got a few chargers here. I don't want the video to run too long. Excuse me. I don't want the video to run on too long. Of course, any questions, drop in the comments, and I'm always happy to help. These are the chargers that I use. So if you want something a little bit cheaper, there's these IMAX types. There's a few different ones of these, bigger, smaller ones. They can run a little bit hot sometimes. But generally just keep your eye on them. Any charging that you do, you should always keep your eye on it. That's the sort of time that it's likely to catch fire, most likely to catch fire. Never under volt them, never let them go under volts, and never overcharge them. But these are quite decent for like a sort of budgety thing. And then we've got the Sky RC. This is really good, the T100. I'll show you them working in a minute. You can get different connectors for them. You can with that one as well. You can do NiCad, battery, nickel metal hydride, poly, ion types. You can do all your glow sticks and all sorts off this one. I'm sure you can off these as well. And then we've got the T200, which is the bigger version of this one. And this one's got a built-in fan and everything. This one's really good. This does up to a 6S LiPo battery, and that does up to a 4S LiPo battery. But again, I repeat, when charging, always keep your eye on them. You can get LiPo charging bags, which look something like, one second, something like this. So when you're charging, you should always really have them in something like that as well. And then if it does happen to catch fire, quickly unplug and throw that bag outside in your backyard and have it near your back door. Try and do them outside in the shed if you can. I don't want to baffle your heads too much if you're new to all this, but highly recommend these chargers. Safety first. And like I say, if your storage charge about 50%, but anyway, the screen, like, it keeps going funny on there. You can't always see it very well there, sorry about that. But you can scroll through, so you just got normal charge. In fact, let's go back. So this is when you turn it on. Let's turn it off. Let's do it how you would start. Is it going to go? What's going on? It's slow there, turn it back on again. The other one's got the built-in fan in it. You'll hear the fan kicking every now and again. Always charge a vented area as well. So you got LiPo, LiLo. You got a few different things now. You can scroll through there. We want LiPo battery. So then you select. So you got balance, normal charge. So just charge is just through that lead. You can do it just through that lead if you damage your balance lead. Always be careful when you put it in your RC cars. Always strap that balance lead up, because you can pull them off and that can cause a fire as well. So you got normal charge, storage. If you're not using them for a while, storage and balance. Should be discharge as well. I don't know what's going on there. So for this. Instead we want, sorry, amps as well. So right, I said that, have I? I'm missing bits here. Right, that's 7,200 there. That's the run time. That's how long you get out the battery. Sorry about the lighting there. Well, that's better. I'll just tap the screen. So 7,200 milliamps is your run time. It's a 3S battery, so 11.1 volts. This 120C is the punch rating. So how well this battery discharges itself as such that how much punch you'll get out of your motor. So that's like, this is like a race battery. Z, I've always used Z. I've had no problems with them. Honestly, I recommend these. In this video, I'm just going to say, you know, Z. It's totally up to you what batteries you use. Like this, of course it is. I'm just trying to help a bit though. I've always used Z now for over a year. I'd say about a year and a half. And so you plug that in. Like I say, you get different adapters and things. Always keep your eye on it, and you plug the balance. Oh, into there. So what are we with a 3S battery? We can't see the screen now, can we, on there? Come on. There we go. So we want 3S, so you just tap that. So the amps, because it's 7,200, we can leave it at 5. If it says, if it's 2,000 milliamps, then put that down to 2 amps. Or 1.8 amps or something like that. This only goes up to 6, so I can't put it to 7 anyway. But 5 will be fine. Just for an idea what you do with that. But always set your amps to like the milliamp. And then so 4S, we want 3S. So just scroll back there. Hold that down. Do a check. Hit it again. So that's probably going to be around 10%, which is bit low actually. I know it's going up now a bit. It did take a while just to catch up sometimes. Because actually I did storage charge them a while ago, and that's another thing to mention. When they're in the tins and that, they can just drop anyway, so always check them once a month or something like that. Keep your eye on them. Yeah, it's going up a little bit, but to be honest, I need to go through these again. So here's me on about safety. You know, keep them storage charged if you're not using them. It's putting 4.4 amps in there. You can scroll, have a look at the cells, different cells, make sure they're all charging sort of like equally. They won't always be perfect, but until the end. But sometimes one cell will take a while to catch up. Just sort of leave it. Don't worry about that. If it all of a sudden just stops charging, I've found that if it just sometimes it just sort of get like stuck. I found if you put the battery into one of your vehicles, give it a couple of triggers like that, and then plug it all back in again. For some reason, that slight little discharge will bring it back to life, and then you can charge it full again. It does happen sometimes. So 17%. So never let them go too low. I repeat, never let them, overcharge. Oh, my voice has gone croaky. I've had that quite a bit just recently, but let's just get all this off a minute. Right, there you go. I hope that helps you a little bit if if you're a bit unsure. But anyway, yeah, it's totally up to you what sort of buggy or truck or whatever you buy, whether it's 2, 3, 4, 5S. You don't see many 5S, but they do it. But yeah, I hope that helps. But yeah, that's a few good chargers that I highly recommend, and Z batteries have been totally fine. So, and just look, connector wise, yes, you can get adapters and things, and yeah, it's totally up to you really. But yeah, I just hope that helps you a little bit. I don't know if you've got any questions, just ask. And anyway, we'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.